Hey everyone, welcome back to another Vitae review. Today we're taking a look at their Tiantaiosaurus. When Vitae first announced this figure, I was quite surprised by it because I've never heard of a Tiantaiosaurus before in all my life. And after some research, there's really not much information about this species of dinosaur other than it's an early Cretaceous Therizinosaur from China. And it's not even officially described. It's known from a few fragmented remains. Its name was used in the 2007 dinosaur mailing list, and I guess the name popped up in some manuscript that never got published. So that's all I could really dig up on this thing, other than like one picture of the mounted skeleton. But other than that, it is still a really well done figure from Vitae. This figure also comes in multiple options. You have this color scheme right here. There's also another variant color scheme. And you can also order this figure with the base like I did right here. And that retails between $35 and $40. Or you can actually order the figure without the base, which I did. I have two of the exact same figure. That's because when I got this figure in, I dropped it and broke the toe off, and I could not find that toe for the life of me, and it was driving me up a wall. So I ordered the baseless version, which retails I think around like 22 or $25 off AliExpress. So if you want to get it without the base, it's going to save you like around $10 or so. So when I actually got this figure in, there is a couple differences. The paint scheme's a little bit lighter, and there's one more difference, but we'll get into that a little bit later on in the review. So let's just get these figures off to the side, and I guess I can't stand well with that missing toe. So let's just go over the packaging really quick before we take a closer look at these figures. Comes in this nice window display box, and then turning the box over, you have some nice artwork of the Tiantaiosaurus on the back, and I guess it's also spelled a different way. The other spelling I saw for this is basically just missing the O, so it's Tiantaisaurus. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm just butchering this poor Therizinosaur's name with my New England accent. So enough about the packaging. Let's put this figure on the turntable and take a closer look. So let's start with a nice 360-degree view of the Tiantaiosaurus. What a beautiful looking figure. It just looks amazing on the base. I love bases with my dinosaur figures, and Vitae does some of the best bases in the business. And just the figure just looks elegant on there. I love how the feather detail turned out. It's very supple, just like, just fine lines to give it that downy coat. Gives the figure a very full-bodied look. A lot of companies like to over stylize and over detail their feathers, and I feel like that takes away from the sculpt. And I think Vitae nailed the look of the feathers really well on this figure. And the paint scheme is also very naturalistic looking. You have some nice shades of brown along the side of the body with a nice cream coat for the underside and underneath the throat. And you have this beautiful black stripe starting at the top of the head going down to just about the base of the hips. And you have some nice white on top of the head that covers the beak area of this animal. And those claws on the hands are really, really sharp looking, really well done. And this figure is also made out of a resin material, so it allows for nice, sharp, and fine details. So all around, a very beautiful figure from Vitae. So let's just do a couple quick measurements. This figure, if you measure along the top of the head and curve of the neck, is about 9 3/4 inches long and just under 4.5 inches tall. So there's no size estimate that I could find online of how big Tiantaiosaurus was. On the box, Vitae has this listed as a 135 scale figure. So with my calculations, the real life size of this animal will be around 29 feet if it's a 135 scale figure. So that would put this animal in the size range of Therizinosaurus. So, I mean, that's all I really can come up with. And let's just take a quick look at the base before we take a closer look at the figure. Another beautiful base by Vitae. Every time I talk about the bases, I always say they're among the best in the business, and this one is no exception. A lot of beautiful texturing on here, and a lot of nice dry brushing and washes to bring out all that beautiful detail. Even got some footprints sculpted in here of theropod dinosaurs. You can see some larger footprints starting up over here and the end around here, and you got some smaller ones speckled in on the middle of the base. You also got some nice grass detail on this edge right here, some darker coloration to make it look like mud. And then you also have some vegetation, and that vegetation is basically just like shellacked sphagnum moss. And when I got this figure out of the box, almost all the moss was already broken off. I was like, my pants were covered in it when I took this figure out of the packaging. So that feature has been kind of hit or miss me. It does look really cool, but it is incredibly, incredibly brittle. So do be careful when you get these figures in. You don't even want to touch it. I don't have to worry about this because all the pieces already fell off it. So that is kind of unfortunate. And then turn the figure over. You got a nice felt bottom to give that base that really, really premium look. And if you notice right here, there is a little tab right here. That is actually a magnet, because on the base of this Tiantaiosaurus figure is a magnet to help the figure stay on that base. So all you need to do is just line it up and you feel that magnetic pull and you don't have to worry about this figure falling off the base. So that is a really cool touch. I wish more companies would kind of utilize this magnet feature for their bases. It's such a simple and effective use. Most bases, they have, footprints and like large peg holes for the figure to clip into. And I just think this makes the base look much more natural in my opinion. All right, so let's pull this figure and take a look at some of the finer details on it. Starting with that beautiful head sculpt. Really love how the head came on this figure. It just looks like a very peaceful and gentle animal just by the way it's sculpted. You can see the beak painted in here with white. The mouth is clearly defined. You got the nostril up here. The eye is painted brown with a black pupil. You got some nice white paint, and you got that nice, beautiful black stripe that starts on the top of the head that goes all the way down to just about the hip region. You can see all that nice fine feather detail, just like the nice supple lines. Just gives the figure a nice fluffy and full looking coat. You don't have to worry about over textured figures like on like for example like the Safari Velociraptor and Deinonychus and like the Collectae Microraptor. I just think I like this look a lot better than those oversized stylized feathers. And then going down to the neck, you can see more of that feather detail. You get some nice black markings along the neck, and then it turns into speckles along the side of the body. And then going down to the arms, you can see the feathers along the forearm are nicely sculpted and painted, and look how nice and sharp those claws are at the end of the fingers. Nice and pointy. I like that. I hate when companies dull their claws on their figures. And then going down to the hips, more of that nice feather detail. You get a nice, very faded line to break up the brown and cream color, which is the primary color on the underside of this figure. And then going down to the toe claws, you can see the toe claws are decked out in brown paint. You got the dew claw right here. And then turn the figure over, you can see the broken toe on my figure. So this figure is made out of a resin material, so be very careful with it. Don't immediately drop it on the floor like I did. I still have no clue where that toe ended up. I think it fell down one of my floor vents. And then going down to the tail, you get some more nice texture in that really faded brown line to break up the brown and cream color. So yeah, all in all, a very beautiful looking figure. I just love the graceful look of this thing. So let's bring in the baseless option. The color schemes are pretty much identical, but the brown on the baseless one is a shade lighter than the one you get with the base. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Like especially on the forearm right here, there's barely any brown on it. On the base version, there's some brown highlights on here, but other than that, everything is pretty much the same. And I thought when I ordered this figure, because I broke the toe on the one that comes with the base, this one actually does not have the magnet in its foot. So I was kind of surprised to see that. And one other thing, when I did get this figure in, one of the toe claws was broken off in the packaging. It either happened while it was getting shipped or before it got shipped to me. For some reason, these claws and toes on these figures are really, really fragile. And even the dew claw is broken off on this figure. And that one I don't think happened during shipping. I actually think that happened when this figure was molded, because it's actually painted over where the dew claw should be. So maybe they're just having some slight quality control issues with these figures. That's just a hypothesis of mine. I'm not saying that's happening, but yeah, I guess because using this resin material, these claws are really sharp and fine, that they are very, very prone to breakage. So do be careful with your figures. Moving on with comparisons, let's compare it to some other Vitae figures. Here it is with their Sinraptor, and next up here it is with their Tiantaiosaurus. And next up, here it is with their new Ginu Pelta, which right now is one of my favorite releases from Vitae. Absolutely, absolutely love this figure. And next up for Vitae, here it is with their Huerasaurus. So yeah, all these figures look pretty good together. They're all kind of in that 135 scale range, if this thing really is 135 scale. Because like I said, can't find a length estimate on this thing. And next up, can't do Vitae comparisons. Well, comparing it next to their Big Daddy Giganotosaurus. I absolutely still love this Giga, even though it's not the perfect Giganotosaurus. Is still really impressive, and this is the figure that put Vitae on the map. And let's compare it to one of its relatives. Here it is with the Papo Therizinosaurus. And let's do another Therizinosaurus figure. Here it is. Oh, God. You and your poor missing toe. And here it is with the Collectae Therizinosaurus. It does not want to stand for some reason. There we go. And one more Collectae figure. Here it is with their deluxe Dinosaurus. And lastly, this figure has become the gold standard of comparing everything to it. Here it is with the new PNSO Tyrannosaurus Rex. So, final thoughts on this new figure from Vitae. I like it a lot. I think it's a very beautiful and graceful looking figure. Love how they did the feather details on it. Paint scheme is very natural, and I absolutely love their bases. I just love how their figures look on them. So yeah, I do highly recommend this figure for your collection. Like I said, they're a little bit fragile. You know, the broken toe is on me. I dropped it, but the snap toe and the dew claw that broke off before the figure was painted. So there is definitely some fragility with the materials used with this. So when you get these figures in, just handle them gingerly. Don't manhandle them like I did during this poor review. Like I said at the beginning of the review, the version that comes with the base retails between $35 and $40. I actually got that one from Lana Time Shop. I'll leave a link in the description to that. And the baseless version I just got off from some seller on AliExpress. I think it was like Model Toy Center. I usually order some PNSs from them. I've never had a problem with them. So if you go with the baseless options, it can probably save you like $10 or $15 versus going with the one with the base. So at least you have some options, because options are always good when collecting. So that would do it for the review. I am almost done with my backlog of reviews. I think I got, just looking to the side over here, 3 more Safari figures to do, and I'm pretty much caught up, and then I just have to wait for new stuff to come in to continue doing these lovely reviews you guys enjoy so much. So as always, if you guys are enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.